So as always, the Democrats like to stand on this high ground that they are moral and just people, that they care about the voices of their constituents. But a Harvard alum, like so many other protesters and activists, spoke out against a Democratic lawmaker. And give it up for everybody's favorite mama bear, Nancy Pelosi, because Nancy Pelosi was at the Harvard Club of San Francisco's dinner. That's right. The alum and Bay Area community members protested a club awarding Pelosi as a distinguished citizen, despite her war crimes and horrific complicity on the ongoing genocide in Palestine. So, folks, Harvard alum disrupts Nancy Pelosi. And do you think Nancy Pelosi is going to really care what this alum says? And as always, folks, just remember, it takes a lot of courage to call out these politicians, but you're going to notice everyone in the room is going to be saying the same thing. Shut up, shut up, shut up.
Especially at the highest levels of Harvard. Thank you. Thank you to you.
Congratulations, Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi. What good is getting scholarship if we're using our money from Harvard to retaliate and repress and suppress our own students? And what good can you be as a distinguished citizen when you are aiding and abetting this war and this ongoing genocide in Palestine? Shame on everybody here. Shame on you. How dare you do this when our own students are getting attacked, our administration.
We respect your right to have your say.
We respect your right to have your say. And then she rambles off again.
Attacked our administration.
We respect your right to have your say. Have a good evening. Goodbye. Welcome to San Francisco.
Yes, the rambling of an old bat, an old dog like Nancy. So, look, what can we learn from this video here? Well, we learn firsthand that, hey, just remove those troublemakers. But hey, all you people who protested against the Democrats, all of you better freaking fall in line, because Donald Trump is ruining everything. Donald Trump is going to trigger us. Donald Trump is going to do this, and Donald Trump's going to do that. If you're not furious at the Democrats and their hypocrisy, if you voted for Biden in 2020 based on how people were going to judge you on social media, just remember, folks, just remember that these Democrats don't view you with respect. So if you wasted your time voting for them, if you wasted your time, canvassing for these Democrats, they want you to be subservient and obedient. Just don't interrupt them. Because remember, the Democrats supposedly say they care about free speech, but wait a minute. Israeli officials seize the Associated Press equipment and take down live shot of northern Gaza, citing new media law. Oh my goodness. You don't say. Listen to this very carefully. So in Jerusalem, Israeli officials seized a camera and broadcasting equipment belonging to the Associated Press in southern Israel on Tuesday, accusing the news organization of violating a new media law by providing images to Al Jazeera, which is another news agency. The Qatari satellite channel is among the thousands of clients that receive live video feeds from the Associated Press and other news organizations. The AP, the Associated Press, announced the move. What? But I thought Israel was a democracy. What's going on? The Associated Press decrees the strongest terms the actions of the Israeli government to shut down our longstanding live feed showing a view of Gaza and seizing Associated Press equipment. This was said by the vice president of the corporate communications at the news organization. You think they're going to do anything about it? Probably not. The shutdown was not based on the content of the feed, but rather an abusive use by the Israeli government of the country's new foreign broadcaster law. We urge Israeli authorities to return our equipment and enable us to reinstate our live feed immediately so we can continue to provide this important visual journalism to thousands of media outlets around the world. And let's face it, Israeli government doesn't want the whole world to see what's going on in Gaza. Come on, already the United States government is trying to do everything it can to disrupt and end TikTok. And TikTok itself said it's going to fight back. Now, why do you think the U.S. government went after TikTok? Why do you think they went after TikTok? I'll tell you why. Because all the imagery, the crisis, the horrific abuses taking place in Gaza were there for the whole world to see. Not to mention, the IDF didn't do itself any favors by doing cringe TikToks while they're shooting into civilian locations. That's true. Why do you think there's such a massive wave of censorship that's happening all over all the social media platforms? Because Israel's PR has been drastically damaged. There's no road to recovery after this. There's no going back to normal. There's no such thing as normal. Officials of the communications ministry, the Ministry of Truth, right, arrived at the Associated Press location in the southern town of Sadat on Tuesday afternoon and seized the equipment. They handed the Associated Press a piece of paper signed by the communications minister, alleging it was violating the country's foreign broadcaster law. You don't say. Shortly before the equipment was seized, it was broadcasting a general view of northern Gaza. The Associated Press complies with Israel's military censorship rules. Censorship? Oh, what could possibly go wrong? Which prohibit broadcasters of details like troop movements that would endanger soldiers. The live shot has generally shown smoke rising over the territory. The seizure allowed a verbal order Tuesday to cease the live transmission, which the news organization refused to do. In accordance with the government decision and the instruction of the communications minister, the communications ministry will continue to take whatever enforcement action is required to limit broadcasts that harm the security of the state. To which, again, when we see protests like this, remember, the Democrats and the Biden-Harris administration have made their views abundantly clear, including people like Nancy Pelosi. Shut up and stop asking questions. Shut up and go back to complying.
Especially at the highest levels of Harvard. Thank you. Thank you to you.
Congratulations, Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi. What good is getting scholarship if we're using our money from Harvard to retaliate and repress and suppress our own students? And what good can you be as a distinguished citizen when you are aiding and abetting this war and this ongoing genocide in Palestine? Shame on everybody here. Shame on you. How dare you do this when our own students are getting attacked by our administration?
We respect your right to have your say and what is in the Bible. Welcome to San Francisco.
And they all applaud. They all applaud. Why? I'll tell you why they're applauding. It's because they want everyone to shut up and go back to how it used to be. You know, I remember when all these conflicts were taking place, even growing up as a kid. And Israel would always get the benefit of the doubt, you know. No one would really question anything. But as time progressed, as technology progressed, as information became more available to citizens all across the world, this time things were different. This time people saw the crimes taking place. And everyone has a right to get angry. Everyone has a right to call out the hypocritical actions of the Biden-Harris administration. But notice the wave of censorship. Notice the jackboot coming down upon all of us. And the Democrats want to hide behind this fake message of how inclusive they are, how they care about voters, how they care about free speech and stopping Donald Trump. Now, look, I get it. No matter what happens on election night, I'm really not concerned who's going to become president. And yes, Donald Trump is no better than Biden. They are both one the same. There's not a single thing different about the two, except for Biden's had a longer career in politics, and he's one of the many architects of our neoliberal system. Trump, he used the system like a parasite and was able to take advantage of it. But the Democrats were always quick to capitalize on its voting base by saying, if you don't support us, oh no, there goes freedom of speech, there goes democracy. You won't have the right to protest. But when we protest and call out these Democrats, notice how quick they reveal their true nature. We agree with what you want to say, but as they slowly kick you out, they go back to telling the rest of their obedient sheep, well, wasn't that just silly? Tell me, AOC or Bernie, or anybody else that's part of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, or any Democrat that says they're progressive, how are you going to inspire voters to turn out? And again, to the protesters, my direct challenge to you is this. How consistent will you be, or will you let fear get the better of you? Because I'm willing to bet that you're getting messages and emails and phone calls from Democrats saying, please support us, please support us. We got to stop Trump. You already know what the Democrats think about you. They don't like you. They don't think about you. They don't respect you. And this is just one of the many examples that we have played on this show about Democrats giving the middle finger to their voters. They don't know shame. Why would they know shame? They're politicians. They're not human.